It's time for Weekend Hockey Update. All the hockey and sports news that's fit to talk about, and even some that aren't. Shot live, but not in front of a studio audience. Brought to you today by Acme Candy Corp. Do you love lollipops and the taste of chicken? Acme Candy Corp combines the two favorites with their newest product, Cocksuckers, available at your local grocery store. Oh, hey everybody. I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of the Bleu Blanc Rouge. Now, I'm not crazy. Stay right there. It's time for Weekend Hockey Update with Rick. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Thanks for joining me. Let's get right into the news. We're going to start out with our AHole of the week and the month. Evander Kane. Evander Kane was suspended 21 games for violating NHL's COVID rules by submitting a fake vaccine card. The National Hockey League announced today that San Jose Sharks forward Evander Kane has been suspended for 21 regular season games without pay for an established violation of and lack of compliance with the NHL-NHLPA COVID-19 protocol under the terms of the collective bargaining agreement. The forfeited pay goes to the Players' Emergency Assistance Fund. Kane will not be eligible to play prior to San Jose's game on November 30th. Sources confirmed earlier this month that Kane was being investigated over allegations that he submitted a fake COVID-19 vaccination card to the NHL and the Sharks. While the NHL and the NHLPA do not have a vaccine mandate for the 21-22 season, vaccinated players have far fewer restrictions on them than do unvaccinated players, including the ability to play games in Canada without a mandatory quarantine. Here's what the Sharks had to say. The NHL has advised our organization that Evander Kane has been suspended without pay for 21 games for an established violation of and lack of compliance with the NHL-NHLPA COVID-19 protocols, the team said on Monday in a statement. While we are encouraged by Evander's commitment to moving forward, we're extremely disappointed by his disregard for the health and safety protocols put in place by the NHL and the NHLPA. We will not be commenting further on Evander's status prior to the conclusion of the NHL's mandated suspension. They definitely don't sound like a team that's happy with him. Now, everyone was wondering why only 21 games. It didn't seem like a lot considering the other investigation that was going on with the allegations brought on by his wife or ex-wife, I'm not sure. And this is what the NHL had to say about that. Its concurrent investigation into allegations of domestic abuse made against Kane by his estranged wife could not be substantiated. They couldn't substantiate her allegations the same way that they couldn't substantiate her allegations of his gambling, and therefore they didn't add on to that suspension. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell, and hey, give a thumbs up. The NHL released their 3 stars of the week for last week, and those stars are: first star, LA Kings Anze Kopitar. In 2 games played, he had 4 goals, 3 assists for 7 points. Second star was Washington's Alex Ovechkin. In 2 games played, he had 3 goals, 2 assists for 5 points. And then in third place was Tampa Bay's Steven Stamkos. In 3 games, he had 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points. Congrats, guys. Hopefully one day we'll see one of our players up on the 3 stars of the week again. If you remember last season, Nikita Kucherov missed all of the season. They got the Tampa Bay Lightning got the long-term relief for the contract, and they were able to bring on somebody else or other players to help them get to the playoffs, at which time Kucherov came back and helped them win a cup. Seems like Nikita Kucherov's on the LTIR again. But apparently it's not like last season. This is what is being said. Nikita Kucherov will be out indefinitely for the Lightning because of an undisclosed injury. It's definitely not a day-to-day thing, Coach John Cooper said. So, in other words, he's not coming back in the next little bit, but apparently they won't be going out and using his cap relief money because he should be back definitely before the end of the season. He is on his team, his country's Olympic team already. So he was one of the first 3 players named. I think Kucherov is Swedish, so he was one of the first 3 players named to that country's team. So, so they're in a different place. It's not the same thing. He is expected back, and let's see what they do without being able to use his money. Because if they use his LTIR money, they'll have to do something when he does come back to make room. So it's the same way with Montreal with Carey Price. If they use his money when he comes back, it creates a problem.
We want you to become a member of Talking Habs.
Max Domi is out for 2 to 4 weeks with a fractured rib that he suffered last weekend. Domi was playing really good at the time of the injury, so it's a tough break for Max. He's trying to, have a good season in Columbus. He hasn't really. So this is what it said. Columbus forward Max Domi placed on injured reserve after sustaining a fractured rib in last Saturday's game against Seattle. The team announced on Monday. That was last week. The Jackets said he is expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks. So the injury occurred early in the game as he lined up defenseman Adam Larson for a hit, and he took the worst of it. So Max Domi, that's a tough break. He hasn't really had a great time over there in Columbus points-wise. And, it looked like he was going to have a good season, and this could take, ribs. It could take him a while to get over. General Manager Jim Benning announced today that defenseman Travis Hamonic has been placed on a temporary leave of absence. The mutually agreed upon leave of absence will give Travis time as he works through his personal matters. The team asks that media respect Travis's privacy, and the club will not be making any further comments on this matter at this time. Hamonic did not opt out of the 21-22 season despite not reporting to training camp while remaining at home in Manitoba for personal reasons. We've received confirmation that Hamonic will not be opting out this season, Canucks General Manager Jim Benning said in a statement at the time. He remains at home dealing with some personal matters. We continue to support him, and out of respect for the situation, we will have no further comment at this time. I believe that Hamonic is one of the unvaxxed players that were left in the league. I couldn't really confirm that, but I believe he's unvaxxed and that this has something to do with that. But we're not going to find out anymore. But anyways, Travis Hamonic out on a leave of absence. It's a mystery. I want to announce I have a new Facebook page that I would like to get people to go over and send us a friend request. So it's Talking Habs on Facebook. Just look it up. You'll see my logo there. Send us a friend request, and we will accept that. And I post all my videos there, and we're going to start doing some live streams there as well. So you might want to be part of that. So, hey, if that interests you, head over to Facebook and make friends with us over there. Joel Edmondson has been out of the lineup the whole start of the season since training camp. Montreal Canadiens defenseman Joel Edmondson will be taking an indefinite leave of absence from the team as he attends to a personal matter, General Manager Mark Bergevin said Wednesday. Edmondson is with his father who's suffering from cancer, so that's apparently what it is. He apparently was getting physically better and getting ready to start returning, but his family matter is a tough situation for him, and that's his father who's suffering from lung cancer. It was diagnosed in 2020, and there's no timeline for his return. And he could be out for a while. All the best to him and his dad. Speaking of cancer, and this is a little closer to home, one of our subscribers, part of the Talking Habs family, and that's J-Bats. He had brain surgery on Thursday. So best wishes to J-Bats and hoping for a speedy recovery from the brain surgery that he had on Thursday. I'm waiting to hear word on how he is doing, and I'll update you guys when I know, but I don't know how I'll know until I hear from him. So it could be a while. So get well soon, J-Bats, from your friends at Talking Habs. And hope to see you soon in the channel and doing well and watching Habs games with us. And again, on this kind of sad kind of story, best wishes to Mike Bossy. Mike Bossy, NHL legend, who revealed that he's battling lung cancer and he's stepping away from his role with TVA Sports here locally in Quebec. Bossy was one of the purest goal scorers of his day. From his first season, 50-goal scorer, and up until the last two when he was suffering from a really bad back, that he scored 50 goals a season every season, except I think the last two that he played. And just a great NHL legend, really, Hall of Famer. I almost once got a chance to play golf with him. I was working with I think his nephew, Keith Bossy, at a restaurant, and we were supposed to go play golf. And something came up for Mike Bossy. I don't remember. I think that was when he either got hired by a team because he was working at Humpty Dumpty Chips, as a matter of fact, and he got hired or something changed and he couldn't make it. And I came that close to playing golf with him. That, though, was in, I want to say 85, somewhere between 85 and 87. I can't remember exactly when, but yeah, so you're talking about a long time ago. Guy Lafleur and Bobby Orr, their first NHL goals were scored on October 23rd. And that was in 1971 for Guy Lafleur and 1966 for Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr's was scored against Montreal. He beat Gump Worsley with a 50-foot slap shot at the Boston Garden in a 3-2 loss by the Bruins. And for Guy, it was his 3-1 win over the Kings in LA. So Bobby Orr got to score his at least at home. And Guy Lafleur had to do his in LA. Montreal on Saturday, because I was supposed to film this on Saturday, but I had some medical stuff, an MRI and stuff this weekend, and I just wasn't able to get to it. So at the time, before the game, they were 0-5, as we all know as fans, and now they beat Detroit, which I'm going to have a little bit of a review at the end of this. So they went 0-5, and the last time that Montreal went 0-5 to start the season was in 1995-96, and they went on to make the playoffs. And I've talked about this, and I forgot what that season was. So that was the season that the team fired Serge Savard, the GM, and the coach, Jacques Demers, after starting the 0-5, and they fired them. And now I know a lot of people we're calling for that here, and but was the same situation. And then later, as you know, the Mario Tremblay as the coach and Patrick Roy, the goalie, and he didn't take him out of the game against Detroit. Oddly enough, that was the game on Saturday, and it led to the trade of Patrick Roy. But the Montreal still made the playoffs that year. So, I mean, for everybody thinking that it's over and there's no chance, I mean, that happened back in 95-96. I wrote here, it was a season of hockey that I wish I could forget. Yeah. Even though we made the playoffs, it was just, such a traumatic experience, literally, as huge Patrick Roy fan and a huge Habs fan, to have him traded. So that's the worst start in Habs franchise history. So we tied that this year. So, yeah, I don't know if that's anything.
Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And, hey, give a thumbs up.
Next up, we're going to go over so Marc Bergevin, as we all kind of know, the rumor out that Marc Bergevin, entering the final year of his contract as GM in Montreal, just might wind up in LA next season, working with Kings president Luc Robitaille. That's reported by Larry Brooks of the New York Post. It's a rumor that he's going there. Apparently wants more money, wants more along the lines of what Chris Drury in New York is getting. That's apparently it. He said that he is affirming that he absolutely wants a new contract with the Canadiens. And I believe in that same press conference, Stu Cowan, who's here, asked him if and he said this, in a perfect world, would you like this new contract? I think that's why he was answering that question. So he said that in a perfect world, and that's in quotation marks, he wants to stay on as GM of Habs beyond the season. And obviously this isn't the perfect world. What does that mean? I don't know. He was kind of prompted with the perfect world thing. So does he want to stay? Does he not? I don't know that cleared it up any, but apparently. So now I got sent this by Joel. If you guys will remember Joel, we're going to be hopefully doing that old timers hockey show where we're going to talk about old time hockey and just stories about that. So he sends me this today, and it says, according to sources, owner Jeff Molson has begun speaking to GM candidates to replace Marc Bergevin. Two candidates on top of the list are Patrick Roy, which everybody's talking about and seems to want, Vincent Damphousse, who's been talked about before. But it says the Habs have also asked Ottawa for permission to interview Pierre Maguire. Now, I know a lot of people out there probably just scoffed and, Pierre Maguire was the other candidate when Marc Bergevin was hired. They were the two finalists. I don't know if that's something that is true or not. I think that comes from the site Go Habs Go. That's a bit of a clickbaity site. So just take it with a grain of salt that that's one of the rumors out there that Jeff Molson is interviewing people to replace Marc Bergevin. No proof of this, but hey, it's a rumor. So I thought while we're talking about it, I'd bring that up. If you have any ideas for a video that you'd like to see me do, please send it to my email. That's talkinghabs@gmx.com. If I do choose your video idea, I'll give you full credit in the video for the idea. And yeah, if you have anything that you think that I should do, you'd like to see me do, send me send me the idea. I'm really looking for some ideas right now. I'm in one of those idea block periods of time, and I'm struggling a little bit with getting ideas. So hopefully you guys can help me out with that. And like I said, I'll give you full credit for the idea in the video. So yeah, please do that. Now it's time for the Leafs troll of the day, because I can't do a weekend hockey update without trolling the Leafs at least once. So here's my Leafs troll of the day. Numbers. Number 5, Jonathan Drouin has points in 6 games. Number 1, Mitch Marner's points in 6 games. And it should show here, difference in salary, $5 million. But gotta troll the Leafs, right? Carolina Hurricanes, who have become like officially my second most hated team now in the NHL, behind the Toronto Maple Leafs, who I just trolled there. Petty little whiny ass bitches, that's what I call them. So the Canadiens Hurricanes feud is like on fire, and the Hurricanes created a website to troll Montreal Canadiens, only to have it hacked. So it's kind of like petty little whiny ass bitches, and then they got their asses handed back to them. So what happened? They put up a website. It says, I think, in that article that it was after the game, but it was before the game. They took this .com domain name. It was called Did the Canadiens Lose.com to troll them. So after the game, they put up, I think AHole was on there saying yes, because he scored 2 goals, right? And then some, I guess, Habs fan hacker hacked into the site and put up, I don't have the picture and I should have downloaded it, that the Carolina Hurricanes suck. Something to that. He put up a whole meme picture there. So yeah, so you know what? You want to troll and be petty like that? Get it right back. So I was happy to see that. But Carolina Hurricanes, definitely my least favorite team besides the Toronto Maple Leafs now in the NHL. And I'm going to be part of this feud, and I hate them personally. I've not had a good experience with Canes fans and myself. So, okay, so next we're going to look at a clip in the game against the Hurricanes. There was the first goal of the game was disallowed. It was scored by Brendan Gallagher, and it was called goalie interference. And 9 out of 10 hockey experts kind of questioned that. Why was that called back? Because that was a goal. Here's take a look. I made a little clip for it. 9 out of 10 people can watch it and say it's a goal, but there's always that one person in Toronto.
Gallagher skates literally on the edge of the crease, right in front of.
On TSN, Pierre LeBrun said the NHL Situation Room decided no goal because Gallagher went into the crease on his own before the puck got there and impeded Anderson's ability to move. Yet this was a goal? Makes you want to scream. Time for a little bit of a review for the game on Saturday, Detroit Red Wings game. that was won by Montreal 6-1. They broke out of their slump and they finally won a game. And so we'll go over some of the stats and stuff that I have here. And before we do that, let me tell you about it. So the Habs break their winless streak at 5 games with a win on Saturday night versus Detroit Red Wings. After scoring just 4 goals in their previous 5 games, all losses, Montreal broke out with a 6-1, much-needed win and 2 points, their first of the season. The last season Montreal was able to play Detroit, things did not go well, as Montreal went 0-4-0. That was 2 seasons ago. There was an element of both revenge and relief on Saturday. That revenge that they, get back at that 0-4-0 record for the 2 seasons ago, and relief that they broke their slump this year, being 0-5-0. So all 5 new Habs in the lineup contributed to the win. Matthew Perreault with a natural hat trick, Mike Hoffman and Devo, that's Christian Dvorak, also getting their first Habs goals to go along with Sami Niku's 2 assists and David Savard's 1 assist. Niku looked comfortable paired up with Kulak, and he quickly made you forget about Weidman. It was a slow start in the first for Montreal, but they dominated the Wings the rest of the way, and it was really a convincing win. Yeah, it was the Detroit Red Wings, but everybody was sure Detroit had our number, and there was no way we were going to win and all that. Now, I had done some research on that, and yes, 2 seasons ago, Detroit, we couldn't beat them. But the 2 seasons prior to that, Detroit couldn't beat us, and Montreal since 2014 went 19-10 against Detroit. So there was no real worry that Montreal was going to never beat Detroit again, and they proved it on Saturday. 27 shots on goal for Detroit, 24 for Montreal. Detroit was a little better in the face-off circle, 52% to Montreal's 48%. They each had a power play goal. Detroit 1 out of 3, and Montreal 1 out of 4 hits. So they out-hit us by 2. Not a lot of hits in that game. It was kind of, I guess, like that. They blocked a lot of shots because Montreal just doesn't get shots through for some reason. I don't know. Next is the goal scorers of the game. So Dylan Larkin led off with an assist from Moritz Seider at 5:25 of the first. That was a power play goal. It was also the only goal Detroit was going to get. But we figured, they're gonna beat us. And then Ben Sherratt at 14:10 of the first from Drouin and Savard. And not too long after, Mike Hoffman with his first, not only for the season, but with Montreal, from Niku and Dvorak. And that was a power play goal at 16:15 of the first. In the second, Dvorak gets his first Montreal Canadiens goal from Niku and Drouin at 3:17 of the second. And then it's Perreault, the Perreault show. Matthew Perreault unassisted at 7:45 of the second period. Then again at 9:59 of the second from Toffoli and Caulfield. And then again into the empty net at 13. No, that can't be. Yes, that can be. 13:16 and go empty net. No, yeah, it was. The Red Wings pulled their goalie with like 7 minutes left. And Montreal got that goal. There was nothing after that. And it was a natural hat trick because that was 3 goals in a row. It's great to see. The assist, David Savard got an assist. Don't know how I pronounced that. Niku got 2. Niku looked really good there. I say really good. You know what? You didn't notice him, good or bad, except the good, he got the assist. But you didn't really notice him all night, and that's a good thing, I think, for Niku to be unnoticeable. Except on the offense. I think he makes you forget Chris Weidman really quickly. He has some size. He plays better. He looked more comfortable. That's all that you need to know, really. For the goalies, Allen, 26 of 27 in the save department for a 9.63 save percentage. That's what you want to see. Thomas Greiss, not a good night. 12 of 17 for a 7.06 save percentage. And Nedeljkovic, when he came in, I said, watch, Canadiens won't get another goal, which they did get another goal, but it was the empty netter, so that he wouldn't give up, because that happens a lot when you chase a goalie like that, and then the new guy comes in. A lot of times, not saying all the time, but he'll shut the door, which he did, 6 of 6 for a 1,000 save percentage on that. And, my 3 stars of the game. These aren't the official 3 stars. These are my 3 stars of the game. Jake Allen, third star, 26 of 27, like I said, with a .963 save percentage. Second star, Sami Niku. He was the second star of the official one. I only changed the Allen's addition. They gave Sherratt the third star, the official ones. So Niku with 2 assists. And then Perreault, obviously, with his natural hattie, got to give him the first star. And listen, Allen, it's still 27 shots he faced. He only gave up 1 goal. I don't see how he didn't get the third star. If he didn't give up the goal, he'd have gotten a star for sure for a shutout. So I don't know why they gave it to Sherratt. I'm not saying Sherratt was bad necessarily, but I don't see how he got it. After that win in the Atlantic standings, Montreal stays where they are, or where they were. In 6 games, they're 1-5-0 with a 167 winning percentage. Not great, but they do get 2 points, and that's important. I just want to compare with Toronto, who is out of the playoffs right now. 6 games, 2-3-1, so they have a few more points, and but they're out of the playoffs. Now look at the playoff teams. Buffalo and Detroit are there. Unlikely at the end of the season that Buffalo and Detroit are sitting in that position. So anybody that's worried about Montreal, just like they're going to drop down, Montreal should come up. It's how far up do they come into the playoffs? Did they make it all the way, or did they dig too much of a hole for them to get out of? Considering in 95-96, with Roy gone, and they still made the playoffs back then, I think Montreal can still make the playoffs, and this shouldn't hurt them too much, depending on, do they continue on as winning a little bit, or do they go back to losing a bunch of games? We'll see what happens on Tuesday when they're in Seattle. The bottom 10 teams in the league. I wanted to show this because look at the teams. There's 4 teams on there. I'm including Montreal, but there's 4 teams on there that probably you wouldn't have at the bottom 10. Some people would have said Montreal is going to finish there. I get it. Boston, Colorado, Vegas on the bottom. I don't know that everybody would have put those 3 teams as being bottom feeders in the league. I had Montreal because I didn't think Montreal would finish that low if they didn't make the playoffs. I didn't think they'd finish that low. So, but you see, so this is going to change. I mean, might not. It's possible, but I'm saying more than likely, those teams that we thought were going to be good won't finish in the bottom. They'll finish somewhere up near the top of the league or higher than that anyway. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. Ciao.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, check out that video over there.